Afternoon, everybody. Jeff with Okra Homesteader and
Laura Anthony with Put a Lid on It Family Canning.
And we're here at the homestead today. It is hot as heck. So I'm inside today for the afternoon. Probably did some work outside this morning. Probably do some work outside this evening. But for this afternoon, the hottest part of the day, I'm inside. And we are going to talk about pickled okra. And Chief and I have been out of town kind of a little bit here and there, and the okra's been being picked by other people, or it got too big that I just had to throw it to the chickens. So we had to call in some reinforcements. We got a half a bushel of okra from a local, what would you call it, kind of indoor farmer's market?
Yeah, it's Happy Heart Homesteads, the Mercantile in Newcastle, here in Newcastle, Oklahoma, and that's run by Candace and Mandy and their families, and she had reached out to a local farmer for us and got us a half bushel of okra.
Yeah, so it looks awesome. It's actually in the sink already. We're just putting it in some cold water, washing it off, and then I've also got jalapenos and garlic from outside in the high tunnel. So we're looking pretty good here. We're all set. What else are we gonna need for doing this process? Do you want to explain the other ingredients type thing?
Yeah, so pickled okra is really straightforward. It's pretty simple. It doesn't require a lot of ingredients. I'm a big believer in the old ways, and I believe that we have overcomplicated a lot of recipes and we need very few things. So for this, all we really need is some kind of pepper. So whether it was jalapenos or habaneros or cayenne, whatever your version of pepper is, or if you don't have fresh, you can do red pepper flakes. Some garlic, you can use fresh from the garden, or you can do the minced from the store. It's entirely up to you. And then we need mustard seed and canning salt, and that's it, and vinegar.
Yeah, okay. Well, we got all that. We got a big jar of canning salt and a big old tub of mustard seed.
Yep.
And we got vinegar. And then of course we've got jars, the lids with seals, and then the typical, I don't even know if we'll probably need this. We're gonna water bath this at the very end. So, you know, we've got our little tong things, and then we'll probably need this to fill, maybe not fill the jars.
So for pickled okra, I'm all about whatever is easy, making life easier. And so for me, it's just as easy to take a gallon jar, and then of course we're only gonna use some vinegar, and then we'll fill with water. You can use filtered water if you want to, but we're on well water out here, so that's just kind of what we use. We stick to it, makes it easier. But yeah, just a cup and your gallon of vinegar, super easy.
Awesome. Well, sounds good. Well, like I said, we've got the okra in some cold water, and let's get started.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the fun part about using fresh garlic is peeling it all. So kind of a pain in the butt, but well worth it.
Yeah.
But while we're doing this, if you watched the last video that we did of the salsa and stewed tomatoes, we talked about you going to a big competition for the Highland Games, right?
Yep.
So why don't we get an update on that?
Okay, well, we actually leave in like 4 days.
That's cool.
No, 3 days.
Nice.
Yeah, so we leave Wednesday. We're pretty excited about it. Yeah.
I'll bet. And where are you going?
We're going to Switzerland. So we'll leave here and head over to Switzerland. We'll be there for 4 days. I'll compete on Saturday, and then Sunday evening we're gonna leave Switzerland and head for Scotland.
Nice.
So, yeah, and we'll be in Scotland for 8 days.
Oh wow.
I know.
But the competition is just in Switzerland, right?
No, we're also competing in Scotland.
In Scotland
we have
too.
two games we're competing at in Scotland. One of them is the oldest and most prestigious Highland Games in Scotland, called the Braemar Gathering. And we've convinced them somehow to let a team of women from the United States of old women be the first to ever take the field in exhibition.
The first ever. So that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And it's the royal family attends this game.
Yeah,
so
wow.
Every year. It's pretty exciting.
That is super exciting. And I saw maybe on Facebook that there's a link. Are they going to be able to Facebook Live that, or?
So I know the Highland Games in Switzerland has they had put up a post about they were getting things ready for the television crews and all that. If you will follow them, it's Midland Highland Games, or you can just find Laura Anthony Athlete on Facebook, and there's a link there to that page, and I'm assuming they'll be putting a link there for everyone who wants to watch.
Yeah. Okay, well that's cool. Very cool. That'll be exciting. I'm gonna try to tune into that. I actually really enjoy the Highland Games. I wish it was a little bit more well known, I guess.
Yeah.
I also, because I like I don't know, I'm not a huge sports guy. I mean, well, whatever. But I do enjoy that, and I enjoy like the, like the loggers.
The lumberjack games.
Lumberjack games and all that stuff. I don't know. I just really enjoy that.
Yeah.
But, well, we've been busy here trying to keep all the plants alive in this heat, and we've had a lot of help. Maddox and Kelsey, we're both here most of the summer, keeping the sprinklers going and in between work and everything else. But we moved Kelsey up to Oklahoma State University last week, and we were up there again yesterday for bid day for the sororities, and she got the sorority she wanted.
Good.
And you may have to help me out here, Chief, on the name of it. I don't remember. Do we want to say that on here? I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't. Can we say that? Maybe not, because she's not.
For safety's sake, we're not going to.
She's not actually even initiated yet. So until she's initiated, maybe I'm not really sure if we're supposed to say it or not. So we'll just leave that out. But she did get the sorority she wanted, and she is super excited. We're really proud of her, and I think it's going to be a really great experience. So we're down one helper around here. We're down one gate opener and water sprinkler mover.
Ugh.
So good thing we're moving into some hopefully cooler weather. Maybe, I think, saw maybe here within like 8 days or so, we may be cooling down. So.
Well, listen, I will do my very best to bring back the Scotland weather with me.
Yeah. Please do.
I'm gonna stuff it in my right pocket and see if we can make it back.
Seriously.
So what would you say has been your biggest struggle with this crazy heat that we've been having?
Oh, just keeping things watered. Mm-hmm. I lost a few trees in the orchard that were new this year, and it's just been a busy year with school stuff and college and everything, and so I don't have any irrigation in the orchard, and so I lost a couple of those already, but maybe two, nothing crazy. And then just keeping the sprinklers moved around. I try not to add too much this time of year with the heat, but the cows, they do real well. They're longhorn cattle, and they're pretty much wild animals. They really do well in the heat, and then the chickens have a lot of water and a lot of shade, and so they've been fine. Usually I actually lose several chickens this time of year when we have heat like this, and I haven't, knock on wood, haven't lost any yet, so of course now I jinx myself. But,
yeah.
But anyways, and the dogs, of course, they've got their little dog house, I guess, in the shop, and
y'all, it's a whole house.
Yeah.
They're pampered puppies.
They are, but
they earn their keep, though.
They do earn their keep. That's more Chief's thing than me. But I am happy to do it. They're good dogs.
So. They really are.
So, anyways, we looking forward to fall and cooler weather, and I've been doing some, I don't know if you've been keeping up with my videos, but I had some suspension work done to my truck, some upgrades, because we are getting a big surprise here in a few weeks, and needed some better suspension and stuff on the truck. So I won't give any other secret or any clues, but it requires more suspension, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cool. So if you have any guesses, put it in the comments right now. Put
What do we win if we get it right? Because I think we've already talked about it.
Yeah. How about if you're local anyway, you get a jar of pickled okra, fresh pickled okra
From Jeff's.
from here. So yeah, if you think you know what it is and it's local, I won't. I'm not like at the point where I'm gonna ship anything or anything like that. But if you're local, I'll meet up with you and
I'll provide that jar.
We'll
I'll provide that jar because they'll be ready to eat.
Oh yeah. You've got some that are already ready.
Yeah.
So on that note, how long are we looking at for these? How long do they need to set?
So I like to say there's a time frame that things need to get married. And so like 5 to 6 weeks from the date that they're canned is really kind of the peak of when they're going to be really like hitting that mark of flavor. So where everything kind of has that chance to get married.
Yeah.
And they can just sit on the shelf. You don't have to shake them up or anything. It will all just, it's its own little habitat in there.
Yeah. Yep. Very cool. Well, we've been eating the salsa. We haven't had any use. Well, we haven't had any. I mean, we had fresh tomatoes, so we haven't had any use for the canned stuff yet. But we have been eating a salsa, and it's been good. I gave a couple jars to some friends at work, and pretty good reviews. So I can for Happy Heart Homestead. I do a lot of their in-store canning, and that's the one thing I can a portion for me and a portion for them. That's kind of our deal. And she said that from what I already brought back, and I canned a bunch, it's gone. Wow.
And I canned it like days before you and I canned that. So yeah, she said people just tear it up.
Hey, that's awesome.
Buy 3 and 4 jars at a time because they find out how much she has in stock. So
it's the secret ingredients in there that really make it good.
It is. Yeah, awesome. It's the flavor depth. Yeah,
yep, for sure. Do we need to? Let's see. We just got a couple more cloves here to finish up. I think that was all I had in here.
Yeah, and then we just need to start doing those jalapenos. You can quarter or half those, whatever it is you want to do.
You want to cut the ends off, or do we need to leave them on? Or
I mean, I just put them in whole, but you can cut them if you want to.
We'll leave the seeds in? Yeah.
So for those that are worried about seeing peppers in jars of pickled okra and things like that, the vinegar cuts the heat. So it will leave some heat, but it's not going to be overwhelming. I do not like a lot of heat. Lots of people in my family do, but I am not one of those people. And I eat this pickled okra that I make with no problems. And it's just because the vinegar helps kind of cut and mitigate some of that heat.
Okay, well.
They smell hot.
They're
you
smelling
can't smell it, but they
pretty
smell
hot. Woohoo! So anyway, we'll get these halved up, and then we'll start sticking them in jars.
Yep.
Be right back.
All right, so our next step is we're going to stuff the jars. So you can use pint or quart. In this situation, we're using quart because it's what Jeff has available. And some of these, like you can tell, this guy would not fit into a pint jar without cutting it off. And when you cut it off, it tends to release some of that kind of like gross slime, and then it makes the brine a little weird, which could also be mistaken as botulism. So we don't want to cut them if we can avoid it. But yeah, so there's not a particular rhyme or reason.
This is just raw okra right off the plant. We've not done anything to it.
Just washed it.
And we're going to stuff it into the jars. I mean, you kind of want to jam it in there, right? You want to
a little bit. So we want to, depending on what you're canning for, what purpose you're canning for. So, like I can a lot for the fair, but then I also can for sell. So, what they're looking for in that situation, and as a consumer, what you would be looking for is, am I getting my money's worth out of this jar? So you'd want as much as possible in there, but you'd also kind of want them all to be of like size. So that's where you would use For these smaller ones, that's where the pint jars would come into play a little bit better, unless you're just willing to have mixed sizes in there, which in this situation we are. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna stuff these jars in.
But you never know. We may take this to the fair.
Oh, you might. Yeah. I've already canned my okra for the fair this year. Yeah.
So do you take to the state fair?
No, they
Or just
actually
the
don't
county?
do canning at the state fair.
Oh, really?
At
Wow,
our
that's
state fair,
silly.
yeah. Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
You know, I'm not really sure. I never really got an answer. But last year, I don't know if you'll remember or not, but I do because it came up for me. But I kind of called you in a panic because I needed peppers to can
Oh, yeah.
for the fair. It was something I had signed up for our OHCE club. It was something I had signed up to bring or to can. And I was like, Jeff, I am in trouble. I need peppers. And
Was
you
it
said,
jalapeno? What was
no,
it?
banana peppers. You
Okay.
said, oh, I've got all these banana peppers. Just come grab some. And
Oh,
I grabbed
gosh.
enough to can, I think maybe 4 pint jars.
Good.
And in one of those 4 pint jars, the best looking one I ended up taking to the fair, and I won best of show, which
See?
was like a nice $25 gift certificate.
Yeah, there you go.
And they were delicious too, by the way.
That's
We
awesome.
just used them. Yeah.
Hey, before I go too far here, I need to leave room for a jalapeno, huh?
Yeah, so we'll take at some point and stuff a jalapeno half. We've cut them in half. Only one of them we quartered because it was gigantic. But you just want to stick it in there, and then you'll add your couple of cloves of garlic. So we're just gonna do like 2 or 3 cloves of garlic per jar, and then we'll add the mustard seed and salt and vinegar here in just a little bit. We'll do that in bulk.
That way you're kind of saving time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that too much?
Yeah, so I would take that for like just a couple off, and you really want to smush them down. We want to leave a 1/2 inch head space. So if you're looking at the jar and you're looking at any jar that has these rings around the top, this first ring on the bottom here, or the lip, is 1 inch. This one is a 1/2 inch, and this top one is a 1/4 inch. So we want a 1/2 inch head space.
Okay.
Once we've added
Yeah, so we want to be here.
the vinegar. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we don't want any of our stuff going above the 1 inch mark.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. I think that one's.
That
Well,
looks pretty good.
I think that one's good. We'll call it good.
Yeah.
I should have brought in more garlic, I think, huh?
Maybe we might have to default and use some of the minced stuff. Yeah. It's not my preferred way to do it, but you know, when you're doing in bulk and in mass, and you saw how long it took us to peel that garlic.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's necessity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this pod, this would typically be a pod that people would be afraid to pickle, but as I'm pushing on it, it's still pretty pliable.
Just because it's so big? you
Yeah,
mean?
people worry because they're so big that they're not going to be,
Tough.
you're not going to be able to chew in them or bite into them, that they're going to break your teeth or something. But this one's actually still kind of, it's pretty mushy, so it'll be okay.
Okay.
So that's one way to check it, is just to see if it gives it all.
Okay. Well, you should be helping with this one, babe. You want to get in camera?
No. She said, it's a no from me.
Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to get you on camera, whether you like it or not.
Maybe not.
People are going to be asking, where are you at?
She's the genius behind the camera.
That's no lie. I'll tell you what, the editing of these videos is a ton of work. Oh my gosh. So, just a reminder, I don't do any of the editing. I am a technology moron.
You repel technology.
I don't like it. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I've got a tractor, right, and it's new and it's nice and I love every bit of it. But computers, I mean, I like my iPhone, I'm not gonna lie, because I like to be able to take pictures, have my camera right in my pocket and take pictures and videos and you know, whatever, be able to ask Mr. Google whatever I need to know and all that. But man, the editing is tough. I tried to edit, I don't even know what video. This was the truck suspension video the other night, and it was like a 2-minute video, and it was not fun. I did not enjoy it at all. So anyway, what I really like is that I take all these silly videos, and sometimes it's from 2 or 3 different cameras or whatever, and then I just throw it all in Chief's lap, and like hours later, it's like boom, right? It's this gorgeous, awesome video that's funny. You know, some of them are funny, some of them aren't, but whatever the content is. And I'm just amazed every single time. So thank you, honey. And you know, if you enjoy the videos, it does. It's crazy, man. But if you're enjoying the videos and you like the little fun things that Chief does, give her a thanks.
Yeah, y'all just shout out to Chief.
Yeah, shout out to Chief. Put in the comments, because I'll tell you, without her, there's no way I would be doing any of this. I couldn't, mainly.
Well, you could. The result would not be great.
Yeah, no, it would be really bad. I've seen some really bad videos on YouTube, and I mean, hey, my hat's off to people that are trying, you know. So hey, whatever. But like, I've seen some that we watched one earlier, and I couldn't even hear the guy, you know. But it's partially the wind's fault. That happens. But anyway, well, we're gonna keep stuff in these jars, and we'll be back when we have this all done.
All right, so we're at the point where we are ready to start seasoning our jars. So this is just regular canning salt. The difference between canning salt and regular salt is that there's no caking ingredient in this to keep it from caking. So it will clump up a little bit more, but it also, it finishes clear in the jar so that the brine's not cloudy, which would be another sign of botulism. So that would be something that would potentially give you a false look on that. And then we're gonna add mustard seed, which is just a seasoning in that. We're gonna go in with a tablespoon of the canning salt, a teaspoon of the mustard seed, and then we will finish off with the vinegar. And just right on top.
Simple enough.
Yep, super easy.
You do this when you get...
Yep, just go right on in. And here in just a minute, we're gonna put the vinegar and the water in, and since it's gonna this is all cold ingredients, this would be considered raw packing, not hot packing. We're gonna start these in the water bath with cold water. All right, so we've got our jars filled and we've added our salt and our mustard seeds, so now it's time for the vinegar. So on the vinegar, you wanna make sure that it's a 5% acidity. There's a canning vinegar and a cleaning vinegar. Cleaning vinegar is 4%. We need the extra acidity to make this water bath safe. And that's for botulism and things like that. So, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take these jars and we're gonna, I measure with the heart, okay? Like, yeah. It's a whole thing. And so the recipe that I used forever ago and have been using this entire time, we're gonna fill this about 2/3. I like a little bit more because I like them to be like extra vinegary, and people buy a lot of these from me, so they seem to really like that. Yeah. So we're gonna just do that. If you ever see, like, the side of the canning jar has these lines, so here's the front, the beautiful ball side, and then this other side has these lines here that indicate, you know, pint, half pint, whatever. We're gonna fill it up to about this top line right here. So I'll call this the shoulders of the jar. So we're gonna kind of fill this with vinegar up to the shoulders, and then we're gonna top off to that 1/2 inch headspace with just regular water. Okay. And this is why I say you don't need a funnel, because it's easier to just hold it and do it. But Yeah, so, and this is just, you know, if you get a little extra, it's okay. It's just gonna be a little more vinegary. It's not a big deal. Yep, right there.
Boom.
Yeah, and then what we're gonna do with that is we are going to take and clean the rims. You can either use a wet paper towel or you can use a vinegar soaked paper towel to just clean the rim. We're just gonna wipe the rim and then we're gonna add the lids and rings, and then these are gonna go cold into the cold water bath. So Jeff, would you say this is easier than you thought it would be?
Yeah, this is about as easy as it gets.
I should have brought a jar that we could have eaten on while we were doing this.
You were not thinking
that
right
would have been
there.
a treat. I'm sorry. My brain is already in Switzerland.
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah, you're lucky I'm even here.
Right. No, trust me, I know I am.
I'd rather be in Switzerland still. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, those look good. Okay, so I want you to take note too, and we'll do like a comparison when we pull them out of the water bath. But I want you to take note of how green these okra are. So when we pull these out of the water bath, they are gonna be really dull in color. So a lot of that color is gonna be gone. Have you ever grown burgundy okra?
I have not. I tried, it didn't, I didn't have any luck with it.
Okay.
I've seen it though.
Okay, so I love burgundy okra. I had a really good time growing it. It didn't cause me any problems. I actually really enjoyed that variety.
All right,
so,
show off.
Listen, there are some things you're really good at.
That's right.
Gardening is that. Canning, that's the one thing I can't grow is okra. But so if you ever can with like a burgundy okra, or you can any of the produce that's like super colored, like the purple potatoes or the purple or colored carrots, the rainbow carrots, all of those things lose their color when you start canning them. And if you're canning them in any kind of a brine or a liquid, it is going to lose its color into the liquid. So this will can clear. If you're canning with like red pepper flakes, or you're canning with purple or burgundy okra, your brine is going to be more purple or pink or even red. So nothing's wrong with it. It's just, it's seeping its color. I'm glad I told you to get more than a gallon.
Yeah.
Or I'm glad you got more than a gallon and didn't listen to me. I said a gallon should be enough.
No, you said 2 gallons at first, so I thought, well, it doesn't hurt to have it around, you know, for just in case.
So fun fact, canning for Candace and Mandy last week, I went through 4 gallons in one day of vinegar.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's how much I can. So I can in mass. So this is like small batch for me. But,
That's a lot.
all right, so we're gonna clean rims, we're gonna add lids and rings, and then we're gonna jump into the water bath. Did you already get these?
Yep. Because the ring isn't what's sealing the jar, correct?
Right, it's the air will come out of the jar, so there's air being pushed out of the jar. So any of that leftover headspace, most of the air from within the produce itself, all of that's going to come to surface. And so we want all of that air out as much as possible. And the reason we water bath is we process with a higher heat. And so the acid helps kill off anything and preserve, but then the heat will also help kill off any like spores.
But I mean, you don't need it all that tight because
we want the air to escape.
the air escapes, and then the seal is what's really sealing it off, right?
Right.
It's not the pressure of
it's
the
not the ring
tightness.
holding it
Right,
on.
okay.
Right. And then when we're done canning, after these have sat for 24 hours and they're completely cool and the lid is depressed, so that you can't do that anymore, then you can remove the ring. So I actually store all of my canned goods with no ring on them, just the lid. so that if there's some kind of something going on inside the jar and it becomes active, the lid will pop and we know not to eat that. So,
okay.
Yeah. All right,
Good
so
stuff.
so we're just gonna transport these. Do we already have our water bath filled up?
No.
There.
Come on now, you know better than that. I think I prepared that far ahead.
All right, so we're putting jars in the water bath canner, and what we're looking for is just to fit what we can in here. We want them evenly spaced so that the heat can get all the way around them, so we're not gonna super pack them in. We want the water to be about 2 inches over the top of the lid, and you can do that just by sticking your finger in. We need to add a little water, which we will do. We've already got the heat turned on, but again, this is just cold water that they've gone into. And then we're gonna add just a quick glug of vinegar, which will help because I think I told you we're on well water, and there's just a little bit of extra calcium in well water. So we'll add a quick glug of vinegar.
That's an official term.
A glug is a real measurement.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
So just a quick glug of water, and yeah.
Vinegar.
Sorry, vinegar.
Oh, we need more
yeah.
yet.
So I think we're good.
Right.
Yeah. So we're at the point where we're good. So we're just gonna put the lid on it, and I want you to remember like this bright green color, and we'll do a contrasting comparison when we're done here. But what we're looking for is for that okra to lose its color a little bit. It's gonna dull up. And we're gonna see bubbles along the side of it, but we're gonna let these quarts go for about 15 to 20 minutes under a high rolling boil.
Okay.
Okay, so we just took these out of the canner, and you can see that they're boiling really good. There's lots of things happening inside that jar, but what I really want to highlight here is the contrast of color. So this is one that we're getting ready to put in. This is one we've just taken out. And so when I said they lose their color, this is what I mean. So there's just a huge contrast of color, but this is how we know it's done. So we let those ride for about 20 minutes. And now we're gonna dump our hot water and go back in with cold water and do our next batch. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up here. We're waiting on another batch to come out of the canner, and I think you guys got to hear the ping. I think Chief got some really good video of that she'll probably add in for you guys. But yeah, so all we're waiting on is for this last little bit to finish up in the canner, and then you're just gonna pull them out. And how long did we say we're gonna let them sit for?
6 weeks.
We'll see if he can last that long. My bet
6 weeks for the best taste, right?
Yes,
to make sure all of the spices and the garlic and everything gets good and
married.
Married.
Gets good and married. I imagine you'll probably have one open within a week or two.
Yeah, I think I'll at least try it. Maybe just for experiment purposes. After a week, try a jar, and that 2 weeks, try a jar.
Yeah, well, let me know what your experience on that is.
I'm not gonna wait 6 weeks.
I usually just wait because I have like some of last season's on the shelf. So, but yeah, you'll have to let me know. But so we're gonna let these sit for 24 hours after they come out of the water bath, and after the ping has happened or the lid is depressed, you can remove the rings and you can store them without rings. On your shelf or in your cabinet or however you're going to store them, and then you can write the date on them. I usually just write month and year because I know what's in the jar. You can see, but yeah. So this was a really fun time, and it was a great way to close out my canning before I leave. So.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you for coming over, and thanks for hanging out with me and teaching me this.
Sure.
This is skills that got to be shared and passed down and whatever, or eventually nobody's gonna do it. Yeah. So,
and huge thanks to Chief for being
Thanks,
the hero behind the camera today. But yeah, all right, well,
you'll have to keep us informed on how your trip goes.
I will.
And how the competition goes, and I'm sure you'll do great. And
I'll post a lot of video when I get back. I may send you guys some stuff too, but I'll post a lot of video when I get back.
Yeah, for sure. Please do.
But yeah, and if you're not following on Facebook, Laura Anthony Athlete is what you can search, and it's just a picture of me holding a big log or a caber. I'll be posting a lot of up-to-date stuff while I'm over there.
And then also your channel. So she's also on Facebook, Instagram?
Facebook, Instagram, and then YouTube.
For the put a lid on it.
Yes.
Put a lid on it, family canning. on all those social media platforms.
Yep.
So check it out, subscribe.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
guys.